Hi guys, welcome to another video with us. My name is Beatrice Chow, Kadiduni Sana. So we're shooting again with Sylac Media and our editor Manu. So today we're going to be talking about leadership and leaders and all of that. So now we had this what is it called? Not an argument, a debate about leaders, a leader's born or a leader's made. So according to what was discussed and what's not, some of us came with a conclusion, and this is also my take that leaders are born, but the ones who become the best leaders they are made. So as people, like most of us what na ile kakitu, like you have just something inside of you that that I'm a leader. Like when you feel that thing inside of you, you just know that you're born a leader. And so the action that you make out of that thing that you feel, now that's you stepping into the leadership role that the Lord has given you. So today we're going to be looking at patriarchs in the Bible who have become leaders and what they teach us to date. So we're going to look at patriarchs like Moses, Joseph, Jesus, and Paul. Um, Now the thing with these guys, they all had in this knowing that what, I'm a leader. Like I have this categories in we. So we're gonna start with Moses because I think aside from Pound, that's a very interesting character that I love to just go about and just see how he lived his life. And we see from how Moses was born, to him growing up into Pharaoh's household. And yeah, so talking about Moses, how Moses lived up his life. We see Moses trying to kill one of the Egyptians because he was messing up with an Israelite. And so and not just killing, but killing and trying to hide her body. So that's him stepping into his leadership role, but in a way that's not good. It's just him trying to defend his tribe. Now we see also Jesus. Imagine teaching the scriptures while you're 12, and it's not just like reading, like it's teaching eloquently to a point where people can sit and listen to you at 12 years old. So that's him stepping into his leadership role. We see Joseph telling his brothers about his dreams, and to me, like how I read even Joseph's story, there was a little bit of a pride in him. So I'm going to read so that you guys can guess the gist. We're going to read from Genesis 37 verse 6. This is where he was telling his brothers about his dreams. Imagine you waking up and you trying to insinuate to your brothers and parents that I have this feeling that you're going to bow before me. Like I think that's pride, and even for him to like stand before his brothers and just be like, I had this kind of dream. So we read from Genesis 37 verse 6. It says, he said to them, hear this dream that I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the fields, and behold, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf. And so verse 8 it says, his brothers say to him, are you indeed to reign over us, or are you indeed to rule over us? So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Now, for his dreams and for his words, that means there was something that Joseph, aside for the dreams, there was something that Joseph was speaking that was not only about the dreams, it was also about, his speech and just how he acted, spoke some kind of leadership. And we also see Paul, Paul trying to um Paul persecuted the church. So there was a kind of leadership. Now this is like Moses, the leadership that's not godly, but just him being one of the leaders that try to persecute the church. So that's a leadership role. Now until he encountered Jesus, we see him preaching the gospel. So the thing that we have to know, if you feel like you are born a leader, just know that God is going to forge you at some point. Now it's either you bend to what God is trying to to forge you, or you remain resistant. Sometimes even it's not to best of our circumstances. Sometimes things may happen. Maybe we lose our jobs, and God is trying to be like, this is a period where you need to start your business. But instead of you looking at God and just asking God, okay, God, I lost my job, what next? You're there whining that, oh, I lost my job. So the whole period, the whole grace period that God has given you to maybe meet people, start this business idea, you are at home, you're weeping, you don't know what to do, you're not even asking God for. Now that's the point where you leave God and you're going out to drink because now you feel like your life is ended. But most of the times when you got things, you know, when you go through things like this, it's just God pushing us to step further into a leadership role. Now the leadership roles starts in steps. We see the story of Joseph very clearly. After being sold by his brothers, he went into Potiphar's Potiphar's home, and then just after there he was put into prison, and then now he became ruler over everything that Potiphar was putting over him. So it's going to, and I feel like after every stage, also we've seen in the Bible, like after every stage of leadership, there's always going to be a trial or a teaching that God is trying to teach you. So whenever you're going through circumstances that we cannot avoid or things that we cannot understand, that's when now we need to go to God more and be like, okay, God, I lost this job, or maybe it's divorce. I'm divorced. My wife just left me. So what do you want me to do during this period? And the good thing is God answers. And I just today I had a I don't know I had I was battling something, and I was just like, God, I don't understand, because I feel like you're leading me this way, and then something is also telling me go this way. So there's a book that I'm reading, and then I just had a voice open page 29 of that book, and it was literally what I needed to hear. And sometimes God does not, like, most of us to wait for an audible voice of God, which it happens sometimes, but in most cases, God leads us through scriptures. And the book that I was reading is kind of related to the Bible. So it makes a lot of sense. But it's also good to ask God for confirmation. For the longest time, I've always thought that it's wrong to ask God for confirmation because it's like doubting God. But I feel like it's very correct, especially after listening. There's an interview with Pius on this channel called Being Kambua. There's an interview with this guy called Fires. He lost his wife, and then it's just a lot. But I just remember on that interview saying that it's okay to ask for confirmation from God, and even it can be for confirmation. It can be 7. So it's okay to ask God, like, God, what are you trying to show me in this season? And when you feel like God is showing you something, ask Him to confirm it, and He will. Um, yeah. So we see now, yeah, you're going to be forged. So we see Moses after Moses after Moses trying to kill, after Moses actually killing the Egyptian, there was a period where he ran away, and now that was God forging him. And our periods are different. Like we see for Paul only became blind for 3 days, and then Sasa, the Lord started using me. Imagine 3 days, and then the Lord started using you from being a persecutor to now spreading the word of God. And so versus Moses, after killing the Egyptian, he went off for 40 years. After 40 years, that's when God started using him. So it's going to take, like, your story is not going to be my story. The time that God is going to take with you is not the time that God is going to take with me. So we need to take our our what is it called? Our stories with a little bit more grace, and also involve God in it. And I just wanted to say this, like, when we give birth, like as women, when we give birth, there's this time where before the giving birth, we like our waters break. So it's just the same thing. Like before you give birth, like before you become something, or before you give birth to that vision that the Lord is putting onto your heart to do, the waters are going to break. And when I say the waters are going to break, I mean that challenges are going to come to you just before, right before that season. So it's how you handle it. If you're in labor and your waters have broken, are you going to panic? Are you going to start what do you do in that period when your waters have broken? And it's very necessary for waters to break, because in the Bible it says out of our bellies shall flow rivers. So um the water has to break, or the belly has to break for waters to flow, for the rivers to flow. So either way, the hardening, all of us, we have something that God is trying to break within us. It can be our pride, it can be our anger. Like I've read Genesis, and I can tell you that Moses had an anger issue. Like, if you want to go read, please go read Numbers 16, verse 15. I think you can read it just right now. Number 16, verse 15, it says, "And Moses was very angry and said to the Lord, 'Do not respect the offering.'" And we also see Moses, his disobedience to God, like why he didn't come up to the promised land, is because he was asked to speak to the rock, but he parted it. So it just shows an impatience kind of thing, or an anger kind of thing. So before the waters are going to break, before that season of breakthrough comes to you, like God is going to um before those rivers flow out of your belly, like God is going to try to break you. Now, how you react to that breaking it makes all the difference, because it's just right through the delivery, that's where the breakthrough is going to come. Um and we also see like a leader like Solomon, his weakness was women. Like if he was to break through, to break to not break, during that period of him being cheated by, I can't remember the name of this lady, but maybe we don't know what will have come out of him. So I hope that we've taken something out of that, and just know that if you have this kind of thing of, I feel like there's something inside, but there's just something greater, and I know it is there, you just feel it, but now you need to act upon it. And just know that there's a time that's going to come that you'll see it, you'll feel the breakthrough, but then there will be a breaking inside of it. So how you react to that breaking is what's going to matter. So this is the end of this video. If you reached here so far, please give the video a like, share, and subscribe. And also let us know maybe any changes that you want us to make, and maybe anything that you want us to work on. Yeah, so our team contacts will be down below. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.